Do you often find yourself blaming others for what happens in your life? You might be dealing with a victim mentality. In this video, we'll explore what victim mentality is, how to recognize the signs, and the consequences it can have. Be sure to stick around until the end, where we'll share some tips on how to handle it without letting others catch on. Let's get started. What is the victim mentality, and what are its signs? A victim mentality, often called victim syndrome or victim complex, is more common than you might think. It often stems from tough experiences like trauma, leaving people feeling powerless, as if nothing they do will lead to a better outcome. This mindset can make life feel daunting and scary, leading individuals to easily blame others or make excuses instead of stepping up and taking charge of their circumstances. People with a victim mentality often feel like bad luck is magnetically attracted to them. When faced with challenges, they quickly point fingers, convinced it's everyone else's fault. This belief keeps them stuck, avoiding any effort to change their situation. They crave validation, frequently complaining or perceiving any change as downright unfair. If they don't get the support they expect, they might even lash out at others, adopting an all-or-nothing perspective. It's my way or the highway. This black and white thinking makes it tough to handle life's inevitable ups and downs. They might feel entitled to the good stuff without realizing the hard work that goes into it. Bouncing back from setbacks can feel impossible when you're trapped in your emotions. It's hard to see other viewpoints. Even if someone else is struggling, their unacknowledged feelings can lead them to label that person as part of the problem. This mindset also creates barriers to forming genuine connections, as they often struggle to show empathy and compassion. This emotional disconnect can lead to feelings of rejection and loneliness, reinforcing the belief that life is unfair. By dwelling on negative experiences, they can sink into shame, sadness, and even depression. But don't worry, it's never too late to break free and find a brighter, more empowered path forward. But first, we need to know what are the consequences of this victim mentality. Consequences of victim mentality. When you stop taking responsibility for your life, you're not just giving up control, you're also letting go of so much more. You might also find yourself stuck in certain thought patterns and behaviors that hold you back from growing and developing as a person. So the first consequence is, number 1, stagnant personal growth. A victim mindset really puts the brakes on personal growth because it creates this belief that success or change is completely out of reach. People with this mindset often blame their lack of progress on external factors, overlooking the power of their own choices and actions. This sense of helplessness can be a real dream killer, preventing them from taking proactive steps to improve their lives. Those with a victim mentality might feel unworthy of success or think they just can't overcome challenges. These self-imposed limits act like roadblocks, making it tough for them to step outside their comfort zone and explore exciting new opportunities. And let's not forget about the fear of failure. For those stuck in a victim mindset, that fear can be a heavy weight. It can hold them back, stopping them from taking risks or grabbing those chances for growth. Instead of seeing failure as a stepping stone toward success, they view it as a confirmation of their worthlessness. As a result, they shy away from challenges and end up missing out on valuable experiences and personal development. Number 2, difficulty in relationships and social isolation. A victim mentality often leads to patterns of blame and resentment toward others. When people adopt this mindset, they see themselves as the victims of their circumstances, pointing fingers at others for their misfortunes. They're on a constant quest for validation and sympathy, shifting responsibility away from themselves. This blame game creates a toxic dynamic in relationships, eroding trust and spinning a web of negativity that's hard to escape. Plus, this mindset can seriously hinder personal growth. When individuals avoid taking responsibility for their actions and choices, they miss out on valuable opportunities for self-improvement and healing in their relationships. Communication can suffer and conflicts become harder to resolve constructively. One of the biggest consequences of a victim mindset is social isolation. Those stuck in this way of thinking often find it challenging to form and maintain meaningful connections. By continuously seeking validation and sympathy, they may inadvertently push others away or attract relationships that are based on codependency and enabling behaviors. This isolation only reinforces their victim narrative, and keeps them trapped in a cycle of loneliness and disconnection. But the good news? Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking free. Embracing personal responsibility and shifting focus can lead to healthier relationships and a vibrant social life filled with genuine connections. Number 3. Inefficient problem-solving skills. Individuals with a victim mindset often take a back seat when it comes to solving problems. They see themselves as helpless victims of their circumstances, which keeps them from realizing they have the power to tackle challenges head-on. When they feel powerless, they end up giving away control over their lives, making it tough to come up with effective problem-solving strategies. This mindset also narrows their ability to explore different perspectives and search for solutions. They can easily get caught in a cycle of negative thinking, fixating on their grievances and blaming outside factors for their struggles. This limited viewpoint stifles their creativity, making it hard for them to think outside the box and try new approaches. As a result, they often find themselves stuck in repetitive patterns, unable to break free and conquer obstacles. Number 4. Impaired mental well-being. When people see themselves as victims, they often feel helpless and powerless when facing challenges. This perspective can really take a toll on their sense of control, leading to a spiral of hopelessness, despair, and low self-esteem. Over time, those heavy emotions can grow and evolve into more serious mental health issues like depression, anxiety, or even post-traumatic stress disorder, which is definitely not something we can overlook. It's important to recognize these feelings and work towards a more empowered outlook on life. That's definitely not something to take lightly. So, what are the ways to deal with this situation? Ways to deal with victim mentality. Victim syndrome is a pattern we learn to help cope with trauma, but it's something that needs to be addressed. The good news is that with some effort, you can work through it and overcome those feelings. Number 1. Take responsibility for what you do. First things first, take responsibility for your actions. The flip side of feeling like a victim is being accountable. Sure, your circumstances might not be your fault, but they are yours to handle. That doesn't mean you caused them. It just means you have the power to respond and change your situation. Start by picking 1 or 2 small steps you can take to create a positive change in your life. If you're unsure where to start, consider working with a coach to figure out what could make the biggest difference for you. Number 2. Prefer yourself over others. When it feels like others have more say over your life than you do, it's usually a sign of fuzzy boundaries. Start practicing the art of saying no. I know it can be tough at first, especially if you're worried about hurting someone's feelings, but setting those boundaries can really help you regain your sense of power and control. Give it a shot. You might be surprised at how freeing it feels. Number 3. Develop self-efficacy. The best way to combat self-doubt and feelings of victimization is by building self-efficacy, the belief that you can achieve your goals. You can develop this confidence through your past experiences, encouragement from others, and by watching those who have found success. If past experiences have led you to believe that success is out of reach, try surrounding yourself with positive affirmations and inspiring stories of people who have overcome challenges to transform their lives. Remember, developing self-efficacy is all about realizing that you hold the reins to your life. Number 4. Take control of yourself. It can feel really tough to take charge of your life when it seems like one bad thing after another keeps happening. And when success feels like it's crawling at a snail's pace, while failure feels like a ton of bricks, it's easy to get overwhelmed. But here's the scoop. Most of what happens to us isn't personal. The people in your life truly care about you and want to see you succeed. More importantly, you've got to make your own happiness and well-being a priority, even if you can't pinpoint a single thing to change your situation, though there's probably something out there. Remember that you can always control your attitude. Embrace the little moments of meaning, and you'll find that the path ahead starts to clear up. Overall, victim mentality is prevailing, and breaking free from a victim mentality is essential for unlocking your true potential. While it can hold you back and strain your relationships, the good news is that change is within your reach. By taking charge of your actions, setting boundaries, and building your self-confidence, you can shift gears from feeling powerless to embracing empowerment. When you take control of your attitude and choices, a vibrant future filled with opportunities awaits. And with this ends our video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.